day today of our alternative Chelsea coverage. And we thought, the team and I, what flower shall we use? What flower is really typically reminiscent of an English country garden? And our answer was the amazing sweet pea. We've got some beautiful pink ones here. So join us to learn all things about the sweet pea and how to make a beautiful flower crown.
Sweet Peas by Robert Kirkland Kernigan. Where lilac trees are gossiping and whispering tell tales to the breeze, the sweet peas now are clambering across the old stump fence's knees. Each hangs her pretty graceful head, the white, the pink, the mauve and red. Above, the sunflower's golden throne resplendent shines across the leas. Below, I hear the monotone of happy-hearted bumblebees, and in the shade I hear the clink of some conceited bobolink. The bumblebee is storing fast his honey for his winter table, and when the jars are filled at last, each jar receives its proper label. They're labelled this wise, if you please: sweet peas, sweet peas, sweet peas, sweet peas.
Hello there. So up to today we've been concentrating on larger, sort of more impactful arrangements. Today for you we are focusing on the beautiful sweet smelling summer sweet pea, and I'm going to make something a little more delicate, smaller, that you might want to have a go at practicing at home. So I'm going to make a flower crown today. As you can see, I've already made one for myself using beautiful coral coloured sweet peas and some garden roses. And I'm going to show you how to make one for yourself. So starting off with, I've used a couple of pieces of wire and I've just bound them together and made a couple of loops at the end where we can fasten ribbon on at the end and then tie it onto our heads. I've got some beautiful sweet peas here ready to go. I'm going to cut them so they're ready and all lined up on my workbench, ready to use. So just using a little bit of clean stem there, which will fasten onto the wire. Cut a handful of these down. Just love the smell of these sweet peas. It's so nice to have something with a fragrance, and I think so many scented flowers, sweet peas, lily of the valley, they always evoke memories, I think, and take you back to a particular time or place. I just love these sweet peas. They really remind me of my nan's garden growing up. So I've cut a few of those. And I've got some foliage here as well. This is some little shoots of soft ruscus and some eucalyptus to use. Again, I've cut them nice and short, ready to go into our headband. Of course, you can use anything from the garden. And I'm going to mix it in with a few of these large-headed garden roses. This variety is called Vuvuzela. It's got a lovely kind of apricotty, peachy, corally tone to it, which is beautifully mixed in with the colours of these sweet peas. So I'm going to cut a few of these ready to go. Again, leaving a little bit of stem there just to fasten them onto the flower crown frame. And a few of these roses have got some bruising on their garden petals, which are the petals around the outside of the flower. You might want to take those off, just to tidy it up a little bit. Finish those off. Use one more, I think that should be plenty. Now for my design, I've gone slightly off centre and just done a small cluster on one side in the interest of trying to look macho, but I'm going to show you how to make an arrangement that goes all the way across, so you get a nice full display that's going to run across your hair. So taking your wire, I'm then going to move on using some florist buttonhole tape, which is really easy to get hold of online, or you might be able to contact a local flower shop, see if they can get hold of some for you, and then tape it on to your crown frame, and then you're ready to start adding in your flowers. I'm going to start off with a piece of foliage to get me started, and following the same line, I'm just going to lay the foliage over the frame and pull that tape around nice and tight, and the stickiness will hold it onto the wire frame. And then you're ready to start adding your flowers. Sweet peas, running that tape again over the flower stem. And what you want to make sure when using this tape is that you cover the entire stem, including the end of it, because what this tape does really does hold in the moisture. So although this flower crown's not going to last very long, you might get a day or two out of it if you're lucky, if you keep it cool and spray it. By taping up those stems completely, it's really going to help retain the moisture that it's drunk from being in a vase of water, and it's going to hold that moisture in. Now we're adding one of my roses. Take that off, again making sure I tape completely over that stem. And I'm just going to continue to build it up, alternating the sweet peas with those garden roses and some foliage. Once you start building it up, it doesn't take long at all really to make progress. Before you know it, you're suddenly halfway along already. Sweet peas really are perfect to go with a flower crown. Although they're very delicate flowers, if they're all taped on securely, they're great because they're nice and light, not too heavy for the wearer, especially if it's been given to a young bridesmaid, flower girl, or a page boy. It's not too heavy on their head. I'll just add a little extra bit of tape on there. You might have a go at this with bits and pieces from your home. Doesn't have to be sweet peas. Lots of things out flowering at the moment. Maybe you've got some delphinium little buds that might work, or different rosebuds, or out in the garden, geraniums, alliums. So much flower around, lavender. So many different bits and pieces. You can have a go at cutting and maybe have a little Chelsea flower show garden party. The weather's going to be nice, I believe, for the weekend. I need to add a bit more tape on there, so I've run out again. It's so great and sticky, this tape. It just sticks straight back onto itself again. Nice and easy to carry on taping. So I'm coming up towards the end now. So I'm really going to start thinking about how I'm going to finish off my flower crown. I'm just going to tape over those back of the edges a bit. So neaten that up a bit. So I'll get another couple of extra of these sweet peas, and I'll finish off with a nice piece of foliage which will conceal that end joint and make it look nice and neat. Oh, actually, I could probably squeeze another rose. Lots of concentration. I love sitting down doing something quiet like this. It's quite therapeutic. It's delicate work. I'll take that last one on. One more sweet pea there. So just a little bit of foliage there, just to conceal that last binding point. the moment you've got a beautiful flower crown. Now you could make an entire circlet and go all the way around, so you have a full display of flowers. I find it easier to make it this way, and then you've got those two loops. There's one, there's two, and I'm just going to add a little bit of ribbon on onto each end and tie that on in the interest of a one size fits all. And then you can tie it on to the head and you can adjust the length of it. So I've tied that ribbon on now, ready to go, and there you have your completed flower crown, floral headdress, ready to go. Have a little go at home and enjoy it.
Sweet peas were first brought to England from Sicily in 1699. They became a popular cottage garden flower, and the Victorians loved them for their diversity of colour and fragrance. In the Victorian language of flowers, sweet peas stood for lasting pleasure because of their constant blooms. The National Sweet Pea Society was founded in 1900. The 1899 Farmer's Almanac states that flies detest the smell of sweet peas, so they're good flowers for the kitchen or the sick room. Sweet peas are annuals. Early sowing is the secret of their success. They can be slow to germinate, but are quite hardy. They are happiest with their heads in the sun and their roots deep in moist, cool soil. Cut the blooms often and the plant will put its energy into producing more and not making seeds.
Hello, it's the time of year now where you can plant up a pot of herbs close to your back door, so you can just nip out from the kitchen to get freshly cut herbs for your dinners. I'm planting it in one big container, a big galvanised pot. Underneath there's holes drilled so to allow drainage. Also probably about 10 centimetres worth of crocks, or if you haven't got any broken crocks you can use broken up polystyrene. Then in here I have a mixture of multi-purpose compost and grit. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to plant my herbs in. You can use a mixture of herbs from garden centres, or in fact you could use ones which you've bought from the supermarket as well. And they will grow just as well. Remember to stick your label in. That's a marjoram. This is a parsley. This one came from the supermarket. Keeping in mind about how tall they're going to grow as well. So you put your sort of taller ones in the middle and lower lying ones around the edge. I've got my parsley label here. And you do it like that basically. I'll just put this thyme in so you can see. Got a thyme label? No. Got that here. So I've got that. So I've got a mixture of, there's a couple of sages, there's a nice strawberry mint and a lemon verbena. Once you've planted those up, I'll carry on and do the rest. But to help to maintain moisture, what I do around the herbs is I put a top dressing of horticultural grit. So what happens is when you water them, the water will stay in the soil. Also it makes it look nice.
Sweet Peas by ALFRED NOYES. Under the sweet peas I stood and drew deep breaths, they smelt so good. Then with strange enchanted eyes I saw them change to butterflies. Higher than the skylark sings, I saw their fluttering crimson wings leave their garden trellis bare and fly into the upper air. Standing in an elfin trance, through the clouds I saw them glance. Then I stretched my hands up high and touched them in the distant sky. At once the coloured wings came back from wandering in the zodiac. Under the sweet peas I stood and drew deep breaths, they smelt so good.
Thank you for watching our Chelsea videos. I hope you've enjoyed the week and loved the flowers like we do.
Thanks everyone for joining us. If you really like what you see and you fancy having a go yourself, please keep an eye out for Doorstep Flower School. We'll be doing posts on our social media and on the website, and you can join in. Take care of yourselves.
Bye.